A new school year and a new pro-Palestinian protest is already underway at the University of Toronto. It comes as Jewish student group Hillel Ontario sent a letter to the administration with recommendations on how to foster a safe environment for Jewish students and staff. CP24's Melissa Duggan joins us live from King's College Circle with more. Melissa.
Hi, Bakari. I want to give you a sense of the feeling right now on campus. It is pretty quiet, just some students kind of milling about. When I first got on campus earlier today, I saw some students being led through orientation tours. So kind of business as usual, but we did see this protest take place. I also want to show you behind me here. This is the circle where that tent encampment was staged for a couple of months into the end of last school year before a court-ordered deadline for that group to be pushed out saw them leave just ahead of that deadline. We do see security here on campus. Certainly there were security officers that were between the protesters today and a group of anti-protesters that were also on scene. We saw some kind of words exchanged between the two groups, but really otherwise kind of keeping to themselves otherwise. Again, when I mentioned I first came on campus, saw those orientation groups going on, that's where I also met up with Rabbi Seth Gorin. He represents a group, Hillel Ontario, and that kind of has interest in students, Jewish student groups across the province. And I was talking to him about what he feels going into this new school year as we're seeing this protest being held here today. Here's some of what he had to say.
We ended the last academic year on a really challenging, difficult, upsetting note. We had more incidents of anti-Semitism across our campuses than ever before. We had acts of violence. We had hateful speech that was being treated as if it was normal and normalized and was commonplace. As we head into this year, what we're really interested in having happen and urging administrations to do is to share their policies, to hold perpetrators of hateful speech and anti-Semitism accountable, to make sure that they're supporting Jewish students. And actually enforcing their rules in an equitable fashion.
Here's some of what we're hearing from the University of Toronto today through a spokesperson saying in part, all members of the U of T community continue to be free to exercise their free speech rights and advocate for causes without erecting structures, blocking building access, or occupying property overnight in accordance with U of T policies and the July 2nd order from the Ontario Superior Court of Justice. So a few rules that were just kind of outlined there that are now in place on campus. When we're talking to protesters today, not only are they pushing forward with their cause, they're also pushing back against some of those regulations as well, saying that they still want to have their voices heard. I was speaking with one protester. Here's what she's telling me.
They have said that we are fine to protest, and yet if they take away every single aspect of what a protest is, no chalk, no signs, no megaphones, it's not clear to me what they've left us with.
You say that, but yet there's a protest happening here right now.
There is a protest happening right now, and I think that shows that the will of the students will always, rise above what the, administration says is and is not appropriate.
Okay, so we saw that gathering here at King's Circle. So what happened afterwards is that group kind of joined together. They had banners that were leading the way. And that's when we saw them walk through campus and right through this area over here and then kind of carried through. Demonstrators telling me that they will be on campus. We will be seeing from them. We will be hearing more from them throughout the school year until their demands, they say, are heard. Of course, divest, defund, those sorts of words are being tossed around, as we heard in the spring and summer months as well. As again, for some of those rules that the U of T is putting in place, no protests allowed here between 11 p.m. and 7 a.m. Again, we do see campus security here prepared to enforce those rules. Obviously, this happening during daylight hours today. Back to you.
Live at King's College Circle, CP24's Melissa Duggan. Thank you.